weaving in ends of your project after you pour your heart into it and you're so happy you finished it, and then you have all these ends to weave in. It's really the worst thing that we have in our craft of crochet. I think each and every one of us feels the same about it. Some people decide to weave in the ends at the beginning or on the go, so they don't have a whole bunch of ends to weave in at the end. Some people, like me, they like to work on the project, enjoy the project and worry about the ends at the end. Either way, we need to weave in our ends because the result, look, this square is before weaving in ends, and this is how they look. And this one is after weaving all ends, and look how amazing it is. But it's not only because of the beauty of the project, it's also because the durability of the project. So let's fix that with, I think I have three tips and tricks on how to fix that and how to weave in your ends in the crochet project so, it looks beautiful and it does not unravel. Let's dive in. All right, so we start talking about weaving in ends, and if we want our project to look like this, amazing, so you don't see any of the ends, the first thing we have to do is to choose our needle, right? Because for weaving in ends, we will need a needle. I don't know, in English they have lots of names, but I will show you 3 different ones that I have here, and I will tell you what I think about them. So the first one is the plastic regular needle that we get, in a lot of crochet kits and everything. It's very popular. People use it all the time. The problem with this needle, in my opinion, is that it gets stuck and it's not very smooth when you walk and you try to weave in your ends. Sometimes it splits the yarn. The second one, so I don't use it so much, but I did use it at the beginning until I figure out what works best for me. The second one is the metal one, that it's straight. You need to have a very big hole here so you can thread in, all kind of yarn sizes, yarn weights. This is okay, and you have this very sharp, not very round tip of the needle here. What this does, that I don't use it so much, is that it's very heavy here, and the tip is round with a little bit of a sharpen here, but sometimes this is too wide, too heavy, and when you try to weave in your ends, it gets stuck inside the fabric, and sometimes you don't want that. So, but if you're working very heavyweight yarns and maybe amigurumi or maybe chenille yarns, I think this is okay. The third type of needle is this needle, which is also metal, and it has a large needle hole here. I don't know how you call it in English, but it goes with a direction here. It's not straight. And also, if you can see, it goes from being very kind of, how would you say it in English? Excuse my English. Kind of fatty here to thinner here. And then the tip. So we have a direction that we can walk our way inside the fabric, and it will slide very, very smoothly. So I love this type of yarn needles, tapestry needles, or I don't know how you call them. I think they are the best. So now that we talked about the different needles that we have for weaving in our ends, let's talk about 3 methods to weave in our ends. All right, so for method number 1, we are going to pick a tail from our project and thread it into our needle. There are many ways how to thread the tail into the needle. Some people use a special thing to put it in, whatever way you want. And then we have to check the color. So first of all, we are working on the wrong side of the project. And because I have this peach color, I will not weave it in with where there is this green color of yarn, but I will go back. So I will go back and weave it in the peach section of my work. Now, here we use the rule of 3. What I mean by that, we start by inserting the needle in, wherever we can, and going down, threading like this. Okay, this is 1. Then we go back and thread again, back, in different directions and in different stitches, because we want this tail to be inserted and weaved in as much as we can, so it does not unravel. Because if you use this project and then you wash it in the washing machine and you use it for many years, if it's not weaved in, if the tails are not weaved in 3 times up and down, it may unravel, and you don't want to do that. So we did 1 and twice, and then I will not weave in the same stitch. I will go to another one and go back and go in a different direction, like so. Try not to split my yarn, like so. I can continue. Some people do all the thread, all the tail, but I don't think it's very necessary. You have to be sure to go in and out at least 3 times and pick different stitches. So it's done. Once I'm done, you can see I can cut my yarn with the scissors very, very close to it, and nothing will happen and it will not come out because it's all weaved inside. I have this little tail here. What's going on? Okay. So this is the first method that we can weave in our ends. The second method is that we are looking at the construction of the stitches and going back all the way in the same direction, but up and back in the same direction of the construction of the stitches. So this can be like here, the beginning of a round, or it can be a bubble stitch or a puff stitch. It will be the same. So we thread our needle again, and then we go all the way with the needle inside the stitches here, as so, once, okay, in the direction of the stitches, all the way, as much as we can with our tail, and then we go back, but we skip the first one. So if we did all this way, if we weaved in all this way with the needle, this is our last stitch, so we go back, but we skip this one. We go back, we skip the first one, and go back, as many as we can. I'm using here cotton yarn, so it splits a little bit. And the third, because we said is a method of 3, so again, we skip the first one, and we go back in the same place. And then we can cut our yarn, and we can be sure that it will not unravel whatsoever. This is the second method. Now for the third method, it's best if you have, like, maybe you are working a beanie or something that you start with a magic circle. Here I did not start with a magic circle because I usually use a chain 4 and slip stitch. But if you use a magic circle, you know that you can pull it and then it closes, but then you have the tail and sometimes it's opened again. Now, if you have a beanie, you don't want the upper part of the beanie to start opening and unravel and everything. So what we will do, I don't have an example here, but what we will do, we will make a knot very, very close. If it was here, the magic circle, we will make a knot very close to the fabric, to the circle, even 2 knots, to make it very sturdy so it does not unravel. Okay, we're talking on the back side of our work. And then we thread our needle and weave in as usual. So we'll go in the green section of this work. If it was a beanie, so we'll go around, as we said here, around, and finish weaving in all the ends. Let's thread a little bit more. Always leave a longer tail than you think, so you can weave in, longer tails. It's equal to more likely not to unravel. So this is it. I'm going to weave in all these ends, and you'll see my finished project without any ends to weave in. Okay, so now we have a neat finished project without ends, all weaved in, and as you can see, you don't see the weaving, it's all hidden between the stitches. All right, so these were my 3 methods of how to weave in your ends and bring your crochet projects to life without all the ends around, and so they look neat and clean and beautiful. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if you have a different method to weave in your ends, please tell me in the comments below. Anyway, if you're looking for projects and nice projects to work on, hop onto my blog. The link is in the description box below. And until next time, I'll see you. Bye!